Episode 473,212 of the Too Thick Pod, your home for all things sports, cards, and levity. I am Jeremy, joined as always by the least polarizing person in the hobby, Manny being Manny 1.0.
Yeah, you speaking facts there. And welcome back, Too Thick fam. Today, we have the TNT crew, Tyler and Tommy, with us today to answer all your guys' questions. We've gotten a lot of them about how to submit cards, how to do this, what's the process? Hey, if there's a scratch on the card on the back of it, should I still send it? Hey, should I cross this one card to the other to PSA or vice versa to SGC? What's the cost on that? So we want to bring them on every other week to answer questions. And welcome, Tyler and Tommy. How are you guys doing?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good. What's up, boys?
Great.
You know what? Anytime that we get an opportunity to chat with two card savants such as yourself, it is always a great day. Typically, we're seeing you when we're getting graded cards, so I will say I'm a little salty that there is nothing graded in my hand. However, we do have to give you kudos, and we probably have to apologize because we dropped off a bunch of thick-ass comic books, mangas, if you will. You had no idea how to ship them. You had no idea what they were. You asked us, what are these? Manny and myself both said, I don't know. And you guys handled that. So as soon as it's going to be TNT.
Yeah, you can take Kenny. That's all Kenny. That has nothing to do with Tommy and Tyler. That was above our pay grade.
I can't give Kenny credit.
Someone over here knows what they're doing.
Yeah, good thing, it took a good, a Michigan fan to get that.
They didn't even open the right way. You had to open them backwards to read them.
Yeah.
Yep. They definitely.
They weren't in English. They were in Japanese or Chinese. So yeah.
I don't even.
And I will say, I do believe, Manny, that we will beat Bronamath to market, because when I told him that our grades popped, he had a million questions, wanted pictures, the whole shebang. So I think.
Hopefully they come in tomorrow.
My friend, that you beat him to market. I mean, you'll probably get it and won't sell it, and you'll wait until after it drops. But you might actually beat Brona.
No, I definitely did sell it. And like I said, I got good grades on them as well. You guys were telling me what they were. I got a couple, a 9 and a 9.
You got a couple above
you got a
9.2.
9.2. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds awesome.
It does. They're highlighting on Beckett's Instagram, manga Instagram. They're highlighting 8s. So I got a 9 too. I'm like, let's go.
Hey, make sure you tag Beckett. They'll share it.
Yeah, there you go.
And Manny, let me do the propers before we get into this. As always, this wonderful content is brought to you by the fine gentlemen at TNT Cards. Look at the nasty scroll at the bottom. That's where you can contact them. And I'm sure after you hear more of it, you guys will continue to send their cards, and we got to keep them busy.
And for the ones, pull that back up. For the ones that are listening, it's TNTcards.com, and Facebook, they're at TNTcards.mi. We got it. The people that are listening.
Instagram is TNT Cards.mi.
No, Facebook group's the same thing. It's
okay.
It's Facebook.com/groups/TNTcards.mi.
I like it. So
actually, HTTP://
//
Yeah, just click the link tree and you'll find it.
If you go to Instagram link tree, that's easier.
A lot easier.
That's how we're going to promote it now, Jeremy. We're just going to say go to their link tree because they don't even know their websites.
So do you know why the scroll came to be? Is because I knew that there's subtle differences between each of the socials. So one day I was like, Manny, what are they? And I had them backwards. So I'm like, you know what? Let's create a graphic. Let's give these guys their money's worth so we can.
You're high tech. I like it.
It's so impressive.
All right. So we had a busy week, right? With Don Russ No Autos coming out. Have you guys been getting a lot of those?
We haven't seen any of those. Have you seen one yet?
Next Day Autos?
Yeah,
The no autographs?
I haven't seen one yet.
We haven't got any yet.
I was hoping that
you doesn't have one. It just says no autograph in big bold letters.
I'm seeing that they're selling for a lot of money. Well,
it's still a rare insert, but come on, just make.
How many do you got, Manny?
I got none. I didn't open any Don Russ.
Make it a full picture. Don't have to write no autograph on it. Like, it's obvious it's not autographed. You don't have to point that out. Thank you.
Well, Jeremy. I don't know if you know these autos are short prints, but they don't tell you what the short numbering is. So You know, they could have just been one less than the base card and call it a short print.
Yeah, I don't know. Just number them. Just I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, so
It's lazy. I think I saw today in Prism. I think like Victor or like any hit, there's 63 parallels. I believe is the number.
Jeez.
I would imagine it's more than that if you factor in the fast break and all that stuff. 63 seems like that'd probably be hobby alone.
That is, Panini said, you know, we just lost UFC as well. You know what? We are going to just pump
More parallels
and get our money's worth.
the rainbow grew 21% this year.
Yeah.
According to Slabstock. So there's 21% more colors for the collectors out there, that PC players.
I mean, I'm all for colors, but come on.
Let me ask you a question, because I do know that, you know, one of the values that using a group subber is the actual data entry of the card. Yeah. How tedious is that for a person that there's 63 different Wemby cards that you could potentially, how do you do that accurately?
Well, now, I mean, PSA's new system's kind of nice because it shows you the picture of the card if they have it in their database. But even then, right, when you got 63 of them, you have to know that parallel.
You have to literally memorize
narrow it down.
The names of 63 because you have to put the name in. You know, sometimes the color, there could be 6 different blue, you know, blue sapphire, blue.
Then you got to spell out Victor's name.
Yeah, it's.
You can copy and paste, I guess.
I wouldn't bother. I just send the cards to TNT and let us deal with it.
Yeah. Look at that. Here you go. Here's the post. Oh, I don't know if you guys could see it that well, but some of the names: glitter prisms, green ice prism, hyper prism, ice prism, orange ice prism. So you guys have to memorize all this when data entering. Yes. How do you? I can only imagine. Snake skin, which is easy. Wave.
A lot of them,
a lot of them carry over from year to year, so that definitely does help.
Change them. But I mean, you know, when you do 2,000 to 3,000 cards a week, I mean, you see multiple different players of all the different parallels. You just learn them.
Yeah. Well, how do you guys feel about looking at this checklist? You have you know, they usually have the 3 one-of-ones, right? You have the black prisms, and then Nebula. But it looks like they're even 3 out of 5s, 3 out of 8s, 3 out of.
They have been doing that. Far.
Yeah.
They'll have a green shimmer to 5, the black gold to 5. So they'll have some box set that'll probably have some other one out of 5. I mean, I know.
So really, the stuff that's rare is stuff out of 10. Really, anything over 10, even if it's like out of 20, is really not that rare anymore.
Because there's probably 100 of them numbered to 25. But
yeah,
it's so cool. It's still fun. I mean, I wish they would stop growing it as much as they do, but. I mean,
it's not going away.
It's not going away, and I mean, I do love some colored parallels of cards. I mean, to me personally, those are my favorite types of cards: are colored parallels of real cards. I mean, you know, to me, a card, you know, with no patches, no autograph, just a really rare parallel short print out of a pack. To me, that's my favorite part of the hobby. Those types of cards.
I like that you said that, Tyler. What is your favorite? Like, are you a relic auto or? Like
I would say the relic auto, probably out of all out of the main set. So you have, you know, obviously like Prism, Optic, Select. You know, those are the 3 that when we got back into it real heavy that I kind of drew to. But probably the Optic autos are, you know, right up there for me because that on card auto, you know, versus the sticker auto. So I would go with, you know, either the Optic or the Select XRCs.
Okay.
You know, because the Select XRC Rainbow, in my opinion, that's an extremely tough rainbow to, you know, complete just because you're talking silver, gold, tie-dye, and then the black 101, right? So, you know, there's only so many of them. When you get down to the gold and, of course, the black 101, I mean, it's, you know, it can be challenging to, you know, to pull that off.
Yeah, I'm figuring that out when, because I'm trying to do like the Bowman University. And I missed out on out of 5s of Jeremy Fears and Xavier Booker the last couple of days by $1 on eBay. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I missed out on one. So going back to that question, now that we have Jeremy back, we had this conversation on our last episode. And I'm curious on your thoughts because, Tommy, you said you're a parallel guy, like the low number. I'm more of like the relic and auto person. And I brought up the conversation to Jeremy about leaf cards. And the reason why is I saw a video, and all the Leaf like Trinity soccer, and I know you guys don't do soccer much.
I do a lot of soccer.
No, you collect soccer?
Personally,
Oh,
you don't know.
not personally.
I'm saying, like, personally
We get a lot of to grade a ton of it, but I see what you're saying. Sorry.
Yeah. They're all player worn or game used relics with the auto. The only thing that's different is the licensing. So my argument was, why do I pay 10 times the amount for Panini when the relic's not even player worn? It's just
it's worn by somebody somewhere at some time.
correct. So I would rather have no logo, thinking about it, and have a game used jersey of the player and his auto, and for cheaper. So I don't know. What is your thoughts on that? I know Leaf has like a stigma.
My personal preference, I'd rather have the picture on the card because it's a card, have all the stuff that matches what that player would look like in real life. It just, when I look at a Panini baseball card of Fernando Tatis Jr. National Treasures, and it's just him with no logos on anything. I don't know. To me, it just automatically
the licensing's a big deal.
It turns me off right away. It does.
See, but
they make some cool cards. Some of them, the cards are incredibly cool.
Yeah, I would say Leaf, they probably do a better job than anybody. With some of the patches that they put in,
yeah, they do. But it's just
cool.
The picture of the player on the card, when it's not licensed, just looks goofy.
It does look goofy.
What do you think about the Leaf, like the Babe Ruth patches? Do you think Babe Ruth actually wore those?
No.
Oh, you don't think so?
Just do them. How much does a Babe Ruth game used jersey cost? It's got to be $1 million, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think how many Babe Ruth game used jerseys do you think Leaf just has laying around in a warehouse that they're cutting up and putting in a product
game used, though, Tommy.
by somebody? Game used by some relief pitcher from 1942's farm system. Like I don't. I just don't. I have a hard time thinking that they're actual Babe Ruth pinstripe jersey pieces in those that they have just laying around. They keep coming out with them every year. How many Babe Ruth?
Small.
Okay, how many jerseys? Yeah, but how many? The Leaf's the same way. The Leaf has like 6 different sets with numbered to 8 and numbered to 2 and 5. They have 100 different parallels, all numbered to 2, 5, 6, 8. So they're all seem like they're super short numbered. But how many jerseys could they have of that guy? Yeah, right. I'm not buying that.
All right, Tommy's hot take.
Yeah, I like it. I thought I bringing it up.
I think they all do that. I think every one of the tops,
Panini,
Leaf, they all play with that. None of the. I mean, you're saying that on the soccer ones, they actually are game used, relics. And they, those might be, but I would gather to say that 90% of what they're putting out there is not.
So are you saying, Manny, if you pull like a Messi, it's actually a Messi game worn jersey? Then is that what they're claiming?
Yeah, that's what they're saying on the back. It's game worn or player worn.
I mean,
I've seen them are game used. Like they're, those Jeremy saw it, the quad relics that some of them have, and they have legends. So they have like, there's a card that I saw that had Ronaldo, Messi, and they're like the square, but then they had another Ronaldo, Maradona, or Pele, and they all say game used. So you get game used of all 4 legends. Yeah, it's a little square, but for like $100.
That's out of their new high-end product, isn't it?
But did they actually game use it, or is it just a game use patch by some player?
It says, I'm gonna double check while you guys talk it out, Jeremy.
I know how they do that.
What do you think, Jeremy?
They'll say game used, but it doesn't mean that the player on the front of that card wore said jersey in the card. It just means a player wore it at some point in time in a game.
Okay, right here. Here's one. I'm gonna pull it up.
When they first originally did the game jersey cards, they were real authentic jerseys, and then some of them for a while, like in 98, 99, 2000, 2001, they would put a picture on the back of the card of the jersey and then tell you what game it was worn in. That's cool. That to me is freaking cool, and I can't believe those cards don't go for more than what they are.
For sure. They do that in, I think, Topps Tribute, right? Baseball.
I don't
know. Baseball, they did that, and I think some Flawless.
I
know Flawless, they did that.
So here's the card I brought up. Look at Pele, Messi, Maradona, Ronaldo.
Those are sweet patches too.
Yeah, that's absolutely disgusting. But what does the wording actually say on the back of the card?
Let me see. Is there a?
No, there's only one picture.
Yeah, there's only one picture. I got to find let's find one that.
So while you're looking, Manny, I haven't seen Tommy this fired up and this angry since the last time we were in California.
Well, I'm not angry about it.
Watching.
I just know it is what it is. It's just kind of silly, but it's one of those, just is what it is. Like, you know, the manufacturers represent the fact that these cards are game used patches, and a lot of the people in the hobby all pay money like they're game used patches on those cards, and they are not.
So,
but I think you're still just paying. It's the coolness of the card, and the patch looks cool, and that still makes the card worth more money whether the player wore it or not.
Messi, Beckham, Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldo, Pele, Ronaldo, Zlatan, Franz. And on the back, it says, on the front of this card, pieces of game-used memorabilia of, and it gives you the names.
Yes, you have. Go back. Let me say. You have received memorabilia card from the try on the front of this card. Pieces of. Yeah, see that to me seems like it's legit, because I don't think they would claim that if it wasn't real. So yeah. That's cool. That's awesome.
Look at the price, and it ends in an hour.
I know.
That's what I'm trying to. That's why I was trying to.
Those would be worth so much more money.
Yep, I think you should buy that one, Manny.
That's my argument about Leaf cards on those specific ones. Like
some of the ones where they have, like, you know, Gordie Howe, Kobe Bryant, baby. You know, again, I don't know if they're actual game used jerseys, but the cross representing of the sports and just they make some cool stuff. They really do.
Yeah, it's like me turning it. Jeremy made a good point. It's like me turning into the collector instead of like the flipper, because the flipper me would be like, Leaf card. Ugh, I ain't grabbing that. But the collector me is like, man, imagine in like 15 years I have cards like that where I could just pull out and be like, look, he wore game use of these.
Yeah, you know, especially the real. You know, I don't. You know, the real authentic game used, you know, card of Messi. I mean, that might hold a lot of value down the road.
Messi and Ronaldo on it, both. So. I don't know, Jeremy, what's your thoughts? You've been going in and out, so I don't want to step on you. I want you to give your opinion on it.
Yeah, Jeremy, what's your opinion?
So when Manny posed the question, he did it in a very creative way. He said, would you rather have a card that's got a Dick's Sporting Good jersey, or would you want to have something that was worn by the player, you know, to which you naturally, like, I want the player worn if you're going for a patch card? And that's when he presented the Leaf thing, because I'm with you guys. Unlicensed stuff is an automatic turnoff. It's just not something
on the card. It just looks odd when you look at it. It's like the eye appeal to me just goes, something's wrong.
But to Manny's point, like, if you're truly collecting and you want a piece of history, to get one of those Octad cards where you can have like 8 legendary footballers and have something that was potentially worn by them. And unfortunately, become
cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the jersey pieces take up so much of the card, and there's no action shots where they've had to photo brush out logos that the eye appeal is still good.
Well, I did have one additional comment that I think Leaf drops the ball on those cards. They only show like a portion, like that last card only had like 3 or 4 pictures of the actual players. Otherwise, it was just a jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where I thought if they would have had like actual David Beckham's head in there, it would have had a little better eye appeal for me. And so, yeah, I'm kind of right there.
Yeah, they do look kind of goofy when they have just the numbers.
Check this one out. So these are the Leaf Trinity that I've been looking into, and they have like the patch auto rookie, right? And it, like you said, it kind of looks funky without it being licensed. But look at this on the back. You received a memorabilia card from Leaf Trinity. On the front of this card is authentic autograph and match worn memorabilia. So,
does it say of him? Match worn of the player, or just match worn?
Yeah, match worn memorabilia of
Pedri.
Right here. And then it says right here, authentic signature and match worn. So $30. And Pedri was like one of the big chases, like with his rookie year. So why not get this? It's match worn. And this ends in an hour. So that's where's my.
Yeah, those are cool. They're cool.
I think what's cool about those, Manny, is the average American doesn't know a lot about European soccer, but they recognize the colors. Like, they might know that, hey, that's Barcelona, that's awesome. They're not going to know what logos are actually missing, so that actually does look like a pretty legitimate card.
Yeah, I would have no idea by looking at that what's missing off the picture. No idea. I don't even know it was Barcelona, to be honest with you.
Leaf Trinity is what I'm looking into, and those like.
I think with soccer, especially being more of a global market.
But the card market's not there yet for soccer.
Yeah, I think you can get away with a little bit more though with the non-licensed.
Yeah,
and what you
100%.
could on like NFL or NBA or MLB,
Yeah.
that would be a problem. But stuff like that, I think you have some room for growth there.
I was thinking, yeah. So that's kind of what I guess we talked a lot about Leaf. Sorry, Too Thick Fam and TNT listeners.
No,
No, what's cool is I don't know if you guys saw the video that Ryan posted, Card Collector 2,
Yeah.
of that Lionel Messi leaf lot that he just picked up or was looking at was absolutely filthy. And that was like, that would be cool to own.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of, just a side note, there's a bunch of like Messi jerseys that just went for sale in some auction, like all used in the World Cup or whatever. I don't know what it ended up selling for in the millions, but I was like, dang, all in one lot.
We should have bought one.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy's money.
That's your guy, isn't it, Manny?
Yeah, I'm a Messi guy.
Yeah. Well, he's awesome.
Yep.
So we started this episode talking about like the data entry, and we were talking, and a lot of the messages that we got were people who are, like have only ever graded a couple of cards. Yep. Or haven't graded at all and are curious about it, whether it's like they want to encapsulate the card to like preserve it. They like the idea of like potentially flipping it. They like the idea of selling something because you don't have to, like, the grade is what the grade is. It takes out some of that, like where you have to disclose every single thing with the card. And a lot of the feedback we got was like, man, it's so daunting. I looked at PSA's website. I'm going to do it myself. And I have to fill out all this information. I have to print off all this stuff. And so we thought we'd take like a very like grassroots beginning approach to what that process looks like, and key in again on some of the advantages of using a group subber. Yeah. And Manny and I were laughing and we were kind of joking like about like how silly it seems, but then we started talking about when we first started grading cards and how scary and like how overwhelming it seemed. And now years later, it's like you don't even think twice about it. It's like we get you our cards. We pick up cards, profit. Or profit for me, loss for Manny.
Yep. Shout out Tyler and TCG.
So, like the first
Blame
thing,
the grader.
I think Tommy did a really good job on like highlighting some of the like the advantages of going with the group subber. But let's talk about, for all the people that are listening that want to try TNT.
Yep.
Let's talk about how easy it is for them to take action and what they can like. What are the beginning steps they have to do to get cards graded?
Yeah, so I mean, right now we have a simple form, really, versus what you're dealing with the grading companies. Obviously, with the grading company, you're doing all that data entry. I would say the average person can probably get somewhere between 50 and maybe 75, maybe 80 cards an hour entered if they're doing a big bulk submission.
Not even close. On the road, not even close.
Yeah,
20,
so I mean, it takes
maybe 20.
You're spending a lot of time, right, to where you could just put the cards in a box, fill out a form, and send them to us. So
you fill out a form, put them in the mail, make sure we have your contact information, get them to us. That's it. We'll contact you from there, and
we pretty much have
along the way what's going on.
Two different types of customers, right? We have a customer that wants us to do all the work, right? To where for that customer, we try to make it as easy as we can, because we understand the reason why you want to use this is because you don't want to do all that legwork as far as the data entry and whatnot.
And reviewing them and all that stuff.
Yeah. So all you do is really, like Tommy said, give us your contact information. And then from there, all we need to know is the quantity of cards that's going to be in your box. And then if you want to do, $2 review or $4 review, really what the difference there is, both of them, we're going to tell you if we think the card's going to be a 9 or better. So basically, we're going to grade it just like we're the grader at PSA, SGC, or Beckett, right? And we're going to try to tell you, 9 or better, we're going to pass or recommend grading. If we think it's going to be, borderline between an 8 or a 9, we're probably going to kick it, because, in a lot of cases, 9s don't make you money. Obviously, there's some cards that still make sense to send in, but, both the $2 and the $4 review are going to get that. We're going to wipe them down. Do some, minor cleanup where we can, put them in a new sleeve and a new card saver, and they're good to go. And then from there, we're going to recommend what service level you sign off on it after we're done with the review, and you're done. With the $4 review, that's where we're going to send detailed pictures so you get a better idea of why we don't think a card would grade well. And then again, ultimately, that's your decision. Basically, after we're done with our review, we're going to group them together with what grading company they should go to and what service level they should go on, provide you a price, and you say yes or no. And of course, you can make any changes that you want to. The other option is if you already know where you want them to go. Let's say you have, a Brock Purdy Prism Auto that you want to send in. You want to get it back quick, so you're going PSA Express no matter what. And then the rest of your cards, you don't care how long it takes. You just want to go PSA bulk, and maybe you want to send a couple to SGC. At that point, really, we just need to know you got, let's say 3 going SGC, you got 10 going PSA bulk, you got the 1 going PSA Express. From there, we just want you to package them individually inside of the main package. So put the cards in a card saver, penny sleeve card saver, put them inside of team bags by the service level that you want them to go on,
and label
them with a sticky note,
and
and we'll know what to do when we get them. We'll confirm with you, and then we'll send you an invoice and send them out.
And the majority of our communication is pictures, so you don't even have to give us long, drawn-out responses at all. You just literally have to answer yes or no, or give a thumbs up to the pictures we send you.
Yeah, you can list the cards out if you want to, but I'll tell you right now, we're not going to use that list.
We're not even going to look. We're not even going to look at your list.
Doesn't mean anything
we're
to
send
us.
You a picture.
That's more for your records. Our advice: take pictures of your cards in groups of, maybe 15 is a pretty good number, or 12, or depending on how many you have. Take a picture before you send them, so you have record of what's in your box. For insurance purposes, that's something we highly recommend. Then when we get them, we're going to send you pictures right back, match up, make sure everything looks good, and we're ready to roll. So, that's
easy.
Pretty much it. Pictures,
Guys,
make it easy.
Did you say something, Jeremy?
I think he did. He keeps going in and out.
but
Yeah, he's going in now.
Nope, here he is.
Get
Nope.
your life together.
There he is. This is perfect because the faces that it's stopping on is hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh, it
classic
is.
faces.
it's as simple as just get them your cards, and I
Yeah.
would
Get them
suggest-
there and make sure we have a way to contact you back.
It is simple. So if you want to just try it, send them 1 card, 5 cards, 10 cards. List out your contact information. I recommend if you're sending anything of value, you send it with signature. Is that correct? At that point, their stuff is
always
covered by your insurance.
Yeah,
And
so
then-
we have an insurance policy that covers up to $375,000 with a $500 deductible. So that way you have some protection. If something happens, we'll at least get you that amount over the deductible. Obviously, we're not responsible if something gets lost, in the mail to us, but we're definitely want to help out where we can if something bad happens.
I want to take the Tommy approach to podcasts, where I'm not going to go to the bathroom beforehand. I'm just going to get up in the middle of it. I don't give a damn.
Well, I respect it.
Tommy's got a small bladder. It's just what we deal with.
I respect it because it happened to me. We were live at the National, and Jeremy was on the TV screen, but we're live in the VIP lounge. And I got up midway because I couldn't hold it, and I ran to the bathroom. So I respect it.
Yeah, so the guys and everybody that we've responded to, it's literally that simple. You don't have to fill out any paperwork. Make sure they have your information. Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, but the day you receive the mail, everything's open and then it's photographed and sent to them. So you acknowledge receipt of the cards, and at that point in time, your team lays out an estimated hey, we're going to review your cards in this period, and then it's just really streamlined communication throughout the entire process.
Yeah, and sometimes, if we're, sometimes it'll be a little bit quicker. Sometimes we might be a little bit behind, but we always respond to the messages. That's the one good thing. We try to use Instagram, or we like to use Facebook Messenger. With Facebook Messenger, we have basically a group chat is what we set up with. It'll have me and Tommy in it, and then it'll have our TNT Cards account, which is all of our employees. So you got 6-7 eyes on your chat at all times. Same thing with Instagram. We got phones for all the employees that are all tied into that Instagram as well. So you got 6-7 people that are pretty much looking at it, probably not quite 24/7, but at least probably 20 hours out of the day. So we typically get back to you pretty quick.
They're not lying when they say 20 hours out of the day. I woke up in the middle of the night and DM'd them one day, and they got back to me. I think it was
Tommy
Tyler.
normally stays up later. I'm normally up earlier, so there's not much of a
No.
gap.
If I could get up to pee in the middle of the night, I check my phone and see, let me respond to a message.
And he normally has to get up just like he just did. So it happens.
He doesn't have a going problem. He has a growing problem.
Yeah. All in all, it's so easy to get your your cards graded through TNT that I could do it. So if I could do it, anybody could do it.
Yeah, and then after they go out for grading, and after you approve everything, right now we have a Google Doc tracker to where you track everything. You can track what step it's in. We update it every Sunday. That's something that we're going to be improving on. Hopefully here in the near future, that'll be even better for you. But for the time being, I mean,
now it works.
It works, and you can always message us, and we'll answer it. Communication is number one.
I would recommend too for people who are going to take this action. I think you guys have some stuff on your Facebook page, like how to package your cards. Yeah. I think what happens is the first time they're doing this, they want to package the card like it's a newborn child. Yeah. And 57 layers of protection. And I think you can actually get to a point where you put too much on the card where you actually risk the card being damaged when they're trying to open it.
100%.
I have a friend, and I hope you guys don't take he was asking about how to do it, and he wanted to send cards. And I literally told him, I was like, it's as easy. They're the ComC of grading community. And why I said that is because at ComC, you put your cards and you send them off, and then you just
put the price. You just have to put the prices in.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of like your guys' stick in the grouping submission. That's why when I said it to them, they're like, "Oh, I have to send it in." If it's that easy as ComC,
I mean, most customers once they use this once, they usually go, "Oh my gosh, that was literally
where
so
have you
easy."
been my whole life?
Yeah, and the one thing I will say is the time it takes to get them reviewed is about 2 to 3 weeks right now. So that's the only issue is we're pretty backed up. But other than that,
but the results normally are what they should be, and we typically, I mean, we save you a lot of money. We typically review probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000 cards a week, we probably send out somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000 cards a week, to grading. So, you think about that, that's 2,000, 2,500 cards a week that, if we sent them out for grading, we would actually make more money, right?
But they would lose the customer
money. Would lose money because of the grade, and, you would get discouraged and you wouldn't want to grade anymore. So that's not what we're about. But real quick on the packaging. So a lot of people like to ship cards in top loaders, which is fine. You can. But card savers, they fit really well inside of, the oversized team bags, and the cards do not move. Okay. You don't have to worry about them sliding out the top. You don't have to put, painter's tape preferably, but we do see Scotch tape every now and then, but you don't have to put any kind of tape over it. But the nice thing is these will probably fit, I don't know, I'd have to guess 10 to 15 cards, but it creates a brick. That card's not going to get damaged. From there, wrap it in some bubble wrap, put it in a box, and, you're good to go. So, just some advice there. You don't have to get real fancy with it, but just, all we really need is if you send your cards like that with a sticky note and what you want done, we'll take care of the rest as long as we have your contact information.
And just to touch upon what I said earlier too, if they're no review, they go out right away. They don't.
You get invoiced that day or the next day. Just depends on how many we get in.
And then
the invoice, and then they go out on our next shipment, which we ship. Just to kind of touch base, we do ship to PSA every Monday or Tuesday.
Sometimes Friday and Saturday, but
mainly Monday or Tuesday is what we've been doing recently, and then Beckett and SGC are typically Wednesday, Thursday. So, and that's every single week like clockwork.
That's key information there, because if you want to get your stuff out quickly, make sure you get it to them before that day.
Like for no review, as long as we have them by, really, if we have your no reviews, on Friday, they're going to go out on that Monday shipment.
Yes. So they also, I wanted to ask though, because I know there's certain there's two separate card savers, right? There's a tighter one, and then there's like a looser one, right? You don't want to, in my advice, I wouldn't do the tighter ones for the card savers, because
they're smaller. They're not really, they're the same thing. They're just smaller. That's the card saver one. So and card saver ones we don't use. We card saver 2.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. Because the ones people will damage it trying to push it
They're
in.
so tiny and so hard to get in. And
Okay.
And too, with your thicker cards, you wanted to put them in top loaders, right? The too thick, if they're too thick, like our buddy Jeremy and Manny, you want to go with the correct size.
Yeah, we need extra protection. So
won't we all?
So, gentlemen, question: probably the number one question. What are the current turnaround times from the big three?
SGC is about 2 to 3 weeks. Beckett, depending on the service level, their cheapest is 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
The next on the $40 levels, next step up is about 4 to 6 weeks ish. Their fastest, the $140 level, which is priority, is about a week to 10
week
days.
and a half. Yep.
PSA, the bulk is about 45 business days ish.
Yeah.
We
say
say
60
60 days, but they've been coming a little sooner than that. Value Plus is about a month, sometimes 6 weeks.
No, not 6 weeks.
No,
3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
And regular is a little quicker than that, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Express is about a week.
Which is good for PSA. They're actually catching up.
Yeah. So what they state on their website, they say that Value Plus is 20 business days.
Yeah, they always put in any days they say, all the grading companies, it's always business days, Monday through Friday.
Regular 15 business days, Express 10 business days, and then Super Express 5 business days, and it doesn't really go down from there, as far as your turnaround time. One cool thing that PSA recently just updated, which is going to be your new everyday price, Express is now only $129. It used to be $150, so that's a decent savings there. Super Express used to be $300, that's down to $249, and then Walkthrough, which was $600, is now $499. So you're starting to see PSA's reduce some of their prices. They do have some monthly specials that'll go on. It looks like every month they're going to probably do something new. For us, all of our pricings are going to match the grading companies, with the exception of the specials. We're normally going to be a couple dollars more per card. We typically try to be about $2 to $3 more per card.
Because unfortunately, we don't get any deals on when they do those specials.
No, but there's no $99 membership fee and no minimum with us.
Yeah,
so if you only got a couple cards, we'll still, get you a price break. So when it comes to the pricing, I think, we're in line with any of the other group submitters and maybe even a little bit cheaper on some stuff.
Yeah, but that couple dollars a card is offset by the fact that, they're not individually shipping everything.
Yeah.
They're shipping with everybody else, and the amount of time that's saved by going through y'all.
You save money on the shipping too, because isn't the insurance on the way back? They don't really that's just a flat rate.
Yeah, I know, on one of our bulk orders back to get cards back from PSA, it's like $250.
Yeah.
That's if you were to do it through them. We don't pay that much because we do have a FedEx account and we do get a little bit of a discount.
Yep.
We just charge a flat $5 fee per service level. So if you have 100 cards going to PSA on bulk, we're going to charge you $5 to get it there and back to us. And then you're going to pay, obviously, whatever it costs you to ship the cards to us and whatever it costs us to ship back to you. But you definitely probably save, on a larger order, you could be saving $50 to $100 easily.
Yep.
Show season is upon us. The buzz is back, whether it's Burbank this upcoming weekend. A couple weeks after that, we've got Shipshewana. 2 things. Will there be any specials that you guys will be running? And then let's give the people a tip, something they should look to avoid, or something like a cosmetic blemish or something that you're seeing that the grading companies are maybe being a little bit lenient on.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as for us, shows that are going to be coming up, we are going to be at Johnny Ford for the Tops rip party. So we'll be at Johnny Ford's for that. That is going to be, let me look at the date on that. That's going to be on February 24th. So I'll be there for that. That's also the last Saturday of the month. So you'll have the Lansing Avery Shoebox show. Kenny is going to be at that show. So we're going to kind of do a little bit of a split there. He'll be there. I'll be in Grand Rapids.
Rip party sounds fun.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. The Tops did a great job at the last one. Gave away a ton of product, a lot of discounts going on. So I'm excited. I didn't go to one last time, so I'm excited to see what that's all about.
Oh no, never mind.
You'll be gone. Oh. Tom will be on vacation again, but nothing new there, right?
Yep.
Jeremy?
1-day vacation.
I know. And then March 1st, we have the trade night down at Shipshewana, which will be sponsoring that with with our buddy Jason Gillespie and a few others there. And then on the 2nd, it's going to be the day of the show, so we'll be there for that. As far as specials for it, I know we're going to have obviously the cheaper pricing for the faster levels. I don't really know what's going to be going on because PSA, just like you, when it comes to a special, their monthly specials, we find out the same day that everybody else does. Sure. They don't give us any kind of update. So whatever specials are going on, we'll probably be, right in line with them. And then I know Jeremy and I are going to be going down in April to, let me double check what that date is.
The Greenie Show.
Yeah, the Greenie Show, which that'll be the first time we've done that. So I'm excited about that. Be different down in Cleveland area. Mm-hmm. Very, very good facility.
Couple days long show.
It's a 3-day show. 3 days. That's going to be the April 5th through the 7th. So, so that's going to be kind of our schedule right now. And then of course, typically we'll be at every Lansing show. And then I know Johnny Ford will have a show. We'll be at that, but that's what it looks like for us. We're looking to try to get out to a few more shows than what we have in the past. A lot of times we would just do the Shipshewana show, and then we would do the Johnny Ford show a couple times a year. So I know locally it seemed like going to the Lansing show every month grew our brand, here in Michigan, because I know, Jeremy sees it, the amount of packages that we get in the mail, sometimes, and it's, just from all over the country. So, that's something we definitely want to get more of a presence here locally with that. But, yeah, so that's pretty much it for shows. As far as stuff you can get away with on cards, some flaws that we're noticing that you can get away with, I'll let Tommy take it away on that. He's the GOAT when it comes to the grading.
Appreciate that. When looking at a card, eye appeal to me is the most important thing. If it's got a little scratch on the front, most importantly, where is it on the card? Does anything hide it? Is it right in the middle on the gray back of a Bowman base card where it sticks out at every angle, no matter how you look at the card? Or is it, on his jersey where it's red and you don't really notice it? Or is the card have an X-fractor pattern? Or is it a blue refractor where it kind of hides it? So the more noisy the front of the card is, the more you can get away with as far as surface scratches, little blemishes, little, I wouldn't say indents, but little marks, I guess you'd say. A lot of people still think like, most every card nowadays has print lines on the back, going across the entire card. And as long as they're faint and you don't really notice them when you hold the card, a few feet away from you, every grading company is going to pretty much let those go because pretty much every card has it. What you want to really look for when determining if the card's worth grading is, edges and corners, whiting. Is there any white? Can you see white where there's paper loss? It's not fixable. There's nothing you can really do to that, but how bad is it? And that's kind of where, we have a lot of experience on determining whether that card is still worth grading or not and which company to send it to. But, eye appeal, centering. Is it a card that has a border that goes all the way around the card where when you look at it and your eyes automatically tell you it's off center? Or is it a mosaic football card that has no border across? We've noticed that mosaic never has a border, and they're very forgiving on centering, and no matter what grading company you use. I guess Beckett. Beckett's probably still a little tough on the center. They're always the worst on centering, but SGC and PSA are, almost anything go with mosaic because there's no way to really tell by looking at it unless you really know where the logos are supposed to be in the corners of the cards. But other than that, you can't really.
I think the point about the noisy front is like really good because I used to, with my novice eye, if I could see anything, I'd be like, "Oh, this card's doesn't have a chance in hell." And then the first couple times when I would submit with you guys, I would pay for the $4 review with the pictures because I wanted to learn. I also wanted to see what was going on. Like, were my eyes accurate or were they deceiving me? And I remember sending in a couple cards that I knew for sure were going to get kicked. And you're like, no, they're good. And I was like, why? And then you started schooling me on the eye appeal and how you have to, like, if you have to hold a card upside down, sideways, hanging out the window with the sun in a certain position to see it, there's a good chance that's going to be passed. So that allowed us, Courtney and I personally, to go out and take advantage of some of those cards where people might be like, oh, hey, this is marked down because it's got, a print line or a scratch.
If you're looking at a card at a show and you find a scratch and go, hey, man, you got this thing marked for 200, but you see this little surface hole here and, You know, it's got some print lines on the back. You know, I'd buy it, but I need a discount. And you know, you can still have you still have a possibility of a gemming. You know, one thing, dimples, and to bring that up. I mean, we've noticed that PSA, you can still get a gem mint 10 with 2, sometimes 3 dimples on the front of the card. You know, a lot of people don't even think that card's not worth grading at all. When in actuality, you can get away with that all day long.
What's Manny doing? He looks like he was doing coke or something like that.
I was looking at, as he's describing it, I'm like looking at my cards and I could see like a print line on one of my cards. So I was like, but you couldn't see it right away. And it's not like right on his face or like on his jersey. So that's where I was like looking at.
Yeah,
You got to think about it. I mean, how does the grader look at the card, right? I mean, they're not, I mean, they're holding it out in front of them. And I think, just kind of my opinion on it, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I mean, because you've been there, but how is that card going to look if it's inside of their holder?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's a lot of stuff you're not going to see inside of a holder. There's times that, you know, we have customers send cards into us to crack and resubmit. And there's times you can't always see everything. And then you crack it and you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh crap. That's why I got a 7 right there.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, that happens, right? So I think that does give them a little bit of leeway. And I mean, they're chrome finishes on a lot of these cards, so there's going to be something there.
Yeah.
You know, you just want to try to eliminate the stuff that's like in your face. Really.
I mean, yeah, any card I look at, I can find a reason to say it's not perfect. There's some blemish on every card.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, there's another human being on the other end, and his opinion or her opinion's the only one that ultimately matters. And they're humans. You know, they're going to look at it, and they're mainly gauging the eye appeal. First and foremost, I would say 70% of the grade is what's the eye appeal. Do I notice anything off the gate when I look at that card? And then they're going to look it over and determine, you know, look for other things too. But eye appeal is the most important thing. When you just look at the card, you know, a foot away from your face, 1.5 feet, do you notice anything wrong with the card?
Yep.
Awesome. Gentlemen, we appreciate your time as always. I hope that you guys are getting back to cracking those, you know, reviewing those cards, messaging people. You guys work 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, and we're appreciative of that.
We're up past our bedtime. I'm up past our bedtime.
If it wasn't for you guys working hard, we wouldn't be cashing those big TNT sponsorship checks, so we're always appreciative. Make sure you like, subscribe. Hey, there's TNTcards.com, TNTcards.mi for the socials. Hit up the link tree. Tommy, get some sleep, my friend.
Yes,
coaching kids football and reviewing cards. We got to get you some sponsorship money for those kids. I'm working on it, big dog.
I need a practice facility. My boys need a practice facility.
There you go.
I'm on it. So make sure you like, subscribe, smash.
TNT Sports Line should have one too. Just saying.
And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed your hobby release. Oh, before we go too, you talked about cracking and resubmitting.
Yep.
I see questions on your Facebook all the time about it, and I'm not like picking out any of them. Do it at your own risk. That's going to be the answer. If I see it, I'm just going to be like, do it at your own risk. Because they usually will be like, should I do it? Well, Tommy just said, you can't tell, or Tyler, you can't tell until you actually crack it. And then
can you crack the card out and submit it and get a higher grade? Absolutely. But one thing customers forget sometimes is that also means sometimes it goes the opposite way too. Sometimes the card was lucky to get a 9 because it had a big scratch across the front or back. And once you crack it, whatever it was, means nothing. It can come back worse too. We'll try our best to make it look as pretty as possible, but
it's just like gambling, right? I mean, whenever somebody hits big, they're going to tell you about it, right? But you never hear about all the losses. Same thing.
I would say more often we end up with a better grade than we do a worser grade.
Yeah,
and a lot of times
at least the same grade.
A lot of times it's the same, but the worser grade does have. We've taken 9s, resubmitted them, and they've come back 8s.
What it all boils down to, I think,
stories. It happens
when you're looking at cracking and resubmitting to try to increase value. I think it's pretty simple. What do you have into the card?
Yep.
Right. If you're into the card good, then it makes crack it, submit it, and then if you don't get the grade you want, crack it and submit it again. Do it however many times you want to. But if you're in way too deep on a card and you want to take that approach to try to bail yourself out, be careful.
Don't listen to Tyler. You're not a quitter out there. Keep resubmitting.
Okay.
Keep resubmitting. Gambling's like degenerate lifestyle. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Going.
And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed your hobby release. We'll see you guys soon.
Peace, guys.
Peace.